Hey everybody, this is your man Kevin Johnson over at the jkevinjohnson.com podcast. Just here one more time, coming to you on the weekend. Just here to kind of voice my 2 cents out there, voice my opinion, and kind of just sit and kind of just talk to you for a second or two. Just kind of let out a lot of thoughts, I guess you could say, thoughts and opinions, and things I've been thinking about. As you know, this is a podcast that I try to do it on a regular basis, at least once a week, even more than that. Just try to come and just sit down and let out some things that I've been thinking about. You know, I have a lot of scripts and a lot of thoughts that run through my head, and this is just like one of the outlets. Really, it's just for me, I guess you could say. And if it resonates with you, if it encourages you, hopefully you find some of it encouraging, entertaining, or enlightening, or just plain old just foolery for a second as you get ready about your day, or as you're driving on the highway or the byways, or as you're just kind of piddling around the house. This is just let me talk in your ear for a few minutes and kind of just let out some things that I kind of see. On my blog, I just like I said on my blog, it's just a place in which I can just outlet a lot of my thoughts. You know, everybody's got their thing. You know, some people like to sit and watch TV. Some people like to watch movies. Some people like to knit and sew. Some people like to watch, games, and some people like to do this and that. Well, I'm just one that I like to do a lot of consumption of a lot of various eclectic information, and you got to do something with it or you go crazy. You know what I'm saying? You can't always be taking in stuff and not really letting it out, or kind of articulating it or talking it out. So this is just a format, a way in which I can kind of just take some things in that I'm going to do anyway, and then just kind of let it out, I guess you could say, kind of just splurge or blurt it out, as some might say. So hopefully you get something out of it. Hopefully it resonates with you, and my website, jkevinjohnson.com, becomes a place in which you can one day call home, and just kind of amongst the other millions of pages out there on the internets. So I just kind of use it as a platform to kind of just really like a spoken diary, I guess you could say. So thanks for joining me, Kevin, your host. Usually on occasion I have various other speakers and people that come in. Like last week I had my father, Minister Johnson, come in and kind of voice and speak some words of hope and encouragement. And hopefully he'll be doing it on a regular basis, and others as well. You know, we've had shows in the past with a guy by the name of Minister Robert Johnson, who I come to see as a dear friend and a mentor. And hopefully we can get some more people in here that will help speak words of encouragement and help pour into you and help add some valuable content to your life, because there's not a lot of positivity and valuable content that's being propagated out there to the masses on a regular basis, the way it should be. The light, people of the light, and people who are positive, encouraging should, we should outweigh the negativity. But in my view, I don't see it that way. I see that we live in a world that's highly negative and highly being more immersed in fear and anxiousness and negativity. So I'm just trying to do my part as far as being a broadcaster or a propagator of positive things. And I say it like that because I've been, I guess over the last week, for example, I've been just kind of, I like to look at a lot of whys, and I like to ask a lot of whys and look at hows, and the how-to stuff. And I like to get into the mechanics and get into a little more details about the way society is structured and how our culture is designed and how the world in which we know it, in which we live, has come to be. Given that my background is in sociology, I just find it highly interesting, the societal structure that's been designed and cultured, in which we've been immersed today, and in a lot in. And growing up, you asked, or I've asked a lot of, why is this and why is that? How did things come to be this way and that way? And who was the first one to think of putting peanut butter with jelly? Why they do that? Who's the first one to think of coming up with cherry Kool-Aid? Who's the first one? Who put all this stuff together, and where did it come from? Why do we eat bacon and eggs for breakfast? Why is that a breakfast food? And specifically speaking to that one, that one comes from that was made famous by Edward Bernays, the infamous nephew, or the famous nephew of the infamous psychiatrist Sigmund Freud. So, nothing in the world we live, nothing happens by happenstance. A lot of it has come to us by guiding hands and hands of influence. Well, I guess which speaks to one of the things that I did this weekend, and I watched a 3-hour interview with the guy by the name of Patrick Wood, who wrote the book, who has recently wrote a book, Technocracy Rising. And I thought it was an interesting book in that the book details and gives the mechanics and how to on a specific organization known as the Trilateral Commission, which is pretty much a think tank, a non-governmental organization that wields a lot of power and control over the influencers and people of power in our society who hold key positions that affects all of us. So it's very important that we at least have an understanding, or at least give some of our time to investigating who these people are and what kind of decisions that are being made, so that we'll know how to go about our daily lives in peace. Oh yeah, the title of the show is 5 Ways to Live a More Peaceful Life. 5 ways to live a more peaceful life. And specifically, I was thinking about 2016 when coming up with this, but really this is like evergreen content, and then in that you can apply this to any time. There are many ways to live a more peaceful life, but I'm just going to talk about 5 of them, I guess you could say. Because I can go on forever with a lot of these topics, so I try to condense things down to their core and to their essential ideas, so that we can understand and distill nuggets of wisdom that'll help us make better decisions as we go about our day-to-day goings on, as we go about doing just living our life. So I'm going to talk about 5 ways to live a more peaceful life, but before I even get to that, let me go back to the way things are in happenstance and technocracy. Technocracy is an actual real organization, and I guess one of the more prolific figures that kind of stands out, that you can really put a finger on, is a guy by the name of Zbigniew Brzezinski, who's been operating in governmental positions for a while. I think he has a hand. He's been working with a lot of presidents and a lot of officials, high officials. The most recent one is he's done a lot of work with Barack Obama's cabinet, and with in regard to his presidency and stuff like that. So that's a guy you would kind of want to keep an eye on and kind of do a little bit of research on and just become familiar with, because he's a technocrat, as you can say. He's one of the nerds or the geeks that I guess didn't get enough dates in high school, or maybe got picked on a little too much growing up, that grows up and wields a lot of influence and power, and ends up making decisions that affect my life and your life. So he's one of the more prominent figures that you might want to do a little more research on as you go about your day-to-day business, so you can be aware of what kind of decisions and things are being made. He wrote the book Between the Two Ages, The Grand Chessboard, and amongst other works. And in the interview with Patrick Wood, who wrote the book Technocracy Rising, he documents very thoroughly, and he talks about, I haven't actually read the book, but I've listened to enough of Patrick Wood's interviews, lectures, and watching plenty of his YouTube videos that in which he details all this on the hows and the who's, the where's, the whys. If you want to read it, you can get the book, but a lot of information now with the internet is just so available with YouTube videos and stuff like that, where you really don't have to get the books. You can just watch the videos and listen to the interviews and the lectures, and go back and listen to like old lectures and interviews with other figures and stuff like that. But he wrote the book Technocracy Rising, detailing this in writing. That also he has, in the interview, he talks about it. The interview, I think, was done with I forgot his name, over at the Tragedy and Hope website, which I follow. I follow loosely because the guy over there, he does a lot of great in-depth historical analysis on society and culture, and why things are the way they are, and where we've been, and where we may be going. So Tragedy and Hope .com is the website, and I listen to his podcast, Peace Revolution podcast, and he does a great job with some interviews and getting people. Like he did one with a 5-hour one with John Taylor Gatto, who wrote The Dumbing Down of America, and the educational system, the public educating system, and how it came to be, and why you want to be informed about that. And he's done a lot of good work. He's over there, so I recommend that if you want to go into more detail. But anyway, the world in which we live is not here by happenstance, and it's under the heavy influence and guidance of a ruling elite, so to speak. Now, that I know that's a pretty tough statement that many of us may or may not be aware of. A lot of this stuff is in plain view, hidden in plain view. More recently, I read Propaganda by Edward Bernays, as I was talking about, and then on the first page of the first chapter, he says that our minds were governed, our minds are shaped, our tastes are formed by a ruling elite, and they see this as a necessary thing in a democratic society. So there's really no secret when you start to read a lot of get into a lot of history and read a lot of books, and just going out and searching this stuff for yourself. And this is important to know or be familiar with or aware about, so that you understand that the world in which we live is not by happenstance. It is by design. So this will help you see more clear and make better decisions in your personal life, so you can avoid a lot of the trappings and a lot of the diseases and a lot of troubles and situations that most people fall into when you really don't have to. These booby traps, these traps, these hurdles, these walls. We live in a Truman Show world, so to speak. To put it quite simply, we live in a matrix that's designed to enslave and capture your attention and bring you to a managed death. I'm gonna let that sit for a while because it's a pretty heavy statement, in that the world in which we live, no matter where you may find yourself, has been designed. It's been formed to bring and capture and enslave your heart, your mind, your your physical body and to keep you separated permanently spiritually, to bring you to a managed death and suck your wallet dry as you slowly are managed to death, and suck your life force out of you as you slowly are managed to death. And we really don't have a lot of, I guess I don't have a lot of time to really go into that much detail about it, and I really don't want to dwell on it that much. It'll come out more and more over the course of the broadcast later on, but just be aware that there's more to this reality than meets the eye, and it serves us well to acknowledge this and understand this, so that we can overstand it and pursue and live a more peaceful life in a world that's designed to be confusing, chaotic, and designed to be designed to keep you separated from the Creator and the true knowledge that you are a powerful, loved, and highly valued being that is designed to live and experience all the goodness of this life. And that brings me to another lecture I just recently watched. It really kind of just blew my mind. Which I've kind of known, learned about years ago, but the more and more I get in depth, and the more I get familiar with the information, and am able to articulate and overstand the information, it really resonates, and it really just opens my eyes even further. And that is the work of a doctor, PhD, by the name of Bruce Lipton, who wrote the book The Biology of Belief, and how our thoughts shape our physical reality, how our thoughts shape our gene expression. You know, it used to be thought that genes or DNA dictated our life and our reality. You know, we were brought up to believe, we were brainwashed to believe that your genes dictated your reality, when in fact how you perceive reality dictates what's read from the blueprint of your genes. Your genes don't do anything. Your DNA does not do anything. It's just a blueprint. And perception dictates how our genes are expressed. It's amazing when you think about it, because we've been taught to think in reverse, that we are victims when we're not victims. We're highly creative and powerful beings that were meant to thrive and create and live a life of abundance and peace, and just enjoy the gift of life. Now, this because of the jealousy and pride of what I believe, or I call the devil, Satan, what the Bible calls devil or Satan, because of his pride and his falling, and because of the things he's done, he's caused man to be separated from this knowledge, and to be separated and caused us to be quarantined for the time being. But we're in a restoration process. That's what this reality has come to be about. We're in a restoration process. We're in the process of being restored back to Eden, back to the garden. We're in a process. This life is about being restored back to Genesis. So that's pretty much the story in a nutshell of the Bible, in that we started out. This earth was a garden. It was Eden. It was heaven on earth, so to speak. We got one who was prideful and not really having it for whatever reason, and it's caused man to be separated, and now through the work of Jesus Christ, we're in the process of being restored back to. That's a nutshell of the story. So, with this in mind, with this backdrop in mind, keep this broadcast, keep what I say in this broadcast in context, so to speak. So that's the underlying context of my mindset whenever I really do these shows. That's always in my mind, because I like to diagnose the problem and see how we got to the problem and think about solutions and distill nuggets of practical how-to so that you can, your children can enjoy everyday life, as Joyce Meyer says, and so you can enjoy this life because it was meant to be enjoyed. You were meant to have heaven on earth. You're not meant to live in poverty and pursue be impoverished and sick and diseased for your whole life. Not for the looking forward to the heaven. You should be enjoying your life now. Whatever capacity that you can, wherever you may find yourself, enjoy it now. And do your best. Not that everybody's going to have $1 million in the bank, but you want to do the best you can wherever you find yourself, and just live, laugh, and have fun. Learn and have fun. That's what I always tell my children, my sons, before I drop them off at school. We always say that in the prayer. I ask the Creator have His face to shine upon them and give them their peace, and to enable them to live, learn, and laugh for the day. Have fun, enjoy their lives, enjoy their youth. The same way, enjoy your life, enjoy your youth. Whether you're 50 years young, 60 years young, 40 years young, it doesn't matter. 20 years young, enjoy it wherever you may be and however capacity you can. If you're bedridden, laugh. If you're whatever you can find yourself to do to make your existence more enjoyable, do it, because there's a lot of pain and suffering out there, and I say that with a lot of the Christian martyrs and stuff in mind. And we can see that fear is constantly being propagated towards us. So get ready. As far as the turning up of the notch of fear with terrorism and some of these shootings and stuff and that's taking place before our eyes. We in the West, Americans, our generation really hadn't experienced a lot of things that previous generations and other cultures have experienced and experience on a day-to-day basis. So it's time. It's essential that we're aware of this and that we're admonished to make sure that we're ready on all fronts to deal with what's coming, what's already here, and what may be increasing and crescendoing pretty soon. So, and I know I'm kind of going off on a lot of rabbit trails, so forgive me. Like I said, I've been spending a lot of time on a lot of different subjects all week. It's just the way I am. I'm like Curious George, You put a carrot in front of me, you put a banana in front of me, and I just start going down that road until I can't go, until I get exhausted and I find another trail to go down. So forgive me. So number one, I'll sum up what I just talked about. I watched the interview with Patrick Wood talking about technocracy and technocracy rising, the Trilateral Commission, and how the world in which we live has been brought under scientific management and control. That's what technocracy is about. It's about a small group of mad scientists that have scientifically taken over and is fighting for total dominance. It's a real Games of Thrones going on, and while we watch the simulated version on a box, these people are living the real life version in real life. So right now, Our Western society has been scientifically, and he even argues that the world is either in the process in or has been brought under the structure of a class, a managerial class known as the technocratic elite, the technocrats. And they are scientists who they're social engineers, they are cultural engineers, they are engineers that has architect and engineered the matrix in which we live today. And if anything, go find that interview, Technocracy Rising with Patrick Wood, you'll get a more in-depth and detailed analysis about it. He actually wrote. He's a prolific writer and researcher. He actually wrote. I think he helped. He did some work with Anthony Sutton. And if you don't know who he is, look up Anthony Sutton. And Anthony Sutton talks about the New World Order and talks about Skull and Bones, and he talks about how we helped build up our enemies in World War II, I believe, or World War one of them, but actually both of them. How we funded and helped build up Nazi Germany and Russia as enemies to play the Hegelian dialectic, the antithesis to the thesis. So this is like I said, this is a scientific process that we're under, that we need to be aware of. And so that when we send our kids to school, when we go to the grocery store and make certain decisions, when we put on certain clothing and follow certain trends and fashions and watch certain things and allow certain programs into our house, that we understand that all this stuff isn't just by happenstance. There's reasons, there's motives, there's purposes behind a lot of it. I can't say all of it because I haven't researched all, but I can say a lot of it at the institutional level is the foundational level, the first principle level is the structure in place, the system in place is one that's designed to keep us in a certain framework so that we don't leave it. And it's powerful. It is very powerful. Even when you're knowledgeable, you can't really break free from it. It's just crazy how it's all inspiring, I guess you could say, how big this thing is and how powerful it is. And the only way you can truly become free and truly really break from it is through the power of Jesus Christ. That's it. That's the start. That's the door. That's the gateway, the threshold in which you must cross through to even begin the process of getting truly free. Now you may not be 100% free in other areas of your life, but the birthing process starts with coming through the doorway of Jesus Christ. That's the only way to truly start on the path to freedom. Well, I guess which brings you back to the interview or the lecture I seen with Bruce Lipton, and that the lecture I seen with Bruce Lipton, it was so powerful in that there's a it's not really new now, but it's becoming more mainstream now and affirmed in spades, confirmed in spades. Just like I said, talking about epigenetics and how environment shapes the readout of our DNA and genes, which helps us adapt. We're like chameleons. We're like, oh man, the human body is like a biomechanical vessel or machine that's able to adapt to whatever environment you put it in. That's going to bring out certain characteristics and qualities that help it thrive. So this is very powerful to realize. In that I seen a video of a two-year-old on Instagram doing backflips and climbing up walls, and I can remember when my kids were younger, they were climbing up walls and doing all kinds of stuff, and I'm just sitting there like, stop before you get hurt. When actually, when you the human potential at any age is very awe-inspiring and very powerful. And when you realize this, you can start creating environments that will help your children and help you thrive and become a more powerful version of yourself. In my house, I got all boys, 10, 8, and 6, and Marvel is just off the charts popular right now with this, with the Avengers and Batman, the DC with the Batmans and the Supermans and Ant-Man and all these man, and you got Wonder Woman coming out too, and then Supergirl coming out with TV shows, and so just all these shows and stuff about the X-Men, all this stuff about mutants and highly enhanced and advanced humans. These are virtual simulations of what we should be exhibiting. I believe that historically in ancient civilization, that these are characteristics that some had exhibited and some that lived and were. I personally don't believe that the myths and the Greek and Roman and the Babylonian and Sumerian and Assyrian myths and stuff surrounding half gods and things like this is totally made up in myth. I believe that many of it has some truth in it, which is why it's so popular today and why it keeps coming around today. Throughout history, it keeps showing up. So, and just real briefly, I'll say that just by looking at, in my view, I think Genesis chapter 6 speaks to that, and the other supplemental writings with regard to the culture out of which a lot of this stuff originates from speaks to it, namely like Gilgamesh, I guess you could say, but more importantly, sources that are mentioned in the Bible. If you're one that holds the Bible as a foundational core document in your life, the book of Jasher and the book of Enoch, to name a few, that also go, the book of Jubilees, that goes even into more depth and detail about these goings on with surrounding the Tower of Babel and stuff like that. So a lot of things that we see, hear, watch, participate in today has its roots in ancient civilization. But more recently, in the recent past, I've been looking at, like the early 1930s and 30s, 1800s, 1700s, and stuff like that, just to get a more recent historical foundation of how our world in which we've come to live, how it has become shaped and why things are the way they are. So Technocracy Rising, I watched that with Patrick Wood, and how we're being scientifically managed and taken over by a scientific class. And then I'll mention the book Propaganda by Edward Bernays, who talks about the invisible governing force. And if you read the book Propaganda, and also another one he has, talk about the crystallization of the crystallization of opinion. And he talks about freezing and unfreezing culture opinions, so you can shift and manipulate and shape the thoughts of the masses with their consensus, because you can't do anything without consensus. It's a metaphysical rule. Free will has to always be in motion, which is why the information can never totally be hidden. It can be hard to find and rare, but the fine print always has to be on the document, so to speak. That's why when you watch TV and you watch the drug commercials, half the commercials is the fine print about, well, if you take this, you might have a heart attack, your head might explode, your feet might fall off, your arms might fold up in a pretzel. I'm like, daggone. Why would anybody want to take the pill if all this is gonna happen to me? Just let me deal with my restless leg syndrome. How about that? How about I go into tap dancing and let let my restless leg syndrome do the work instead of taking this pill and I might turn inside out. Oh man, I be watching TV at work sometimes on break, and I just be laughing to myself. I know people think I'm crazy, but I be watching these commercials. I just be like, I can't believe this is a serious commercial. I mean, you actually got a real skeleton talking, a real live skeleton just talking and saying, well, if you take this pill, you can look like me. You know, you can lose weight. You could be just all bones. You'll weigh approximately 50 pounds or just all bones. Don't you want to look like me? Oh man, don't get me started. But anyway, yeah, Technocracy Rising, and then what was the other one? Oh yeah, Bruce Lipton, Beyond Belief, and how our thoughts signal the expression of certain DNA expression in our lives. Very powerful stuff. And that we shape our reality. Another thing he talks about is that the life is movement, and the life-giving force, the receptors on our cells come from the outside. It's on the outside of the membrane and not on the cell membrane, and not on the inside. So life flows from an outward fashion to an inward fashion, and not the other way around. You know, we always talk about, or the new age, or the saying today is now look within. You know, now you don't want to look within because ain't nothing there. You look within, you might end up asking the wrong. You will end up asking the wrong source. A deceiving source. So you want to look outward, upward towards the Creator, because that's where life is coming from. Life is being broadcasted into you. So we truly are vessels. We are clay. This body is like it's a vessel. That's what the Bible says. The Bible, our bodies are clay. They're vessels to be poured into. So we are souls that are ignited, initiated. We are animated by the spirit of life, by life, God. Now there was a separation in the fall. Our souls were separated from the Creator, and the only way you can reattach or make a connection is through Jesus Christ, and make a connection back to the eternal source, the Creator. And that's what's gonna help break you completely free, help you realize a lot of these things that I'm saying. It will help crystallize and help you see, and help things become more clear to you on a lot of this stuff. So you can read the Bible, but until you have that experience and make that connection for yourself, then you can only know at a more superficial level versus a deeper level, the level in which you're meant to experience and know these things, to have perception and perceive and live. So, yeah, that's where I've been over the last week. Just to give you an overview, I've been all over the place. I've been listening to podcasts and doing readings on all kinds of subjects, but those are the two that stick out in my mind right now. Let's see, what else have I been doing? I've just been all over the place, I guess you could say. So let's get down to it. 5 ways to live a more peaceful life. I have become, the older I get, the more addicted I've become to pursuing peace. Peace in all levels and all areas of human existence and endeavor, which means that not only peace mentally, but peace spiritually, peace emotionally, peace physically, peace with regards to my wallet, with regards to my relationships. We're talking about holistic peace that's resilient and that bounces back even after the most severe of tribulations and troubles in your life, in that losing a loved one, or in that you've been through a hard circumstance, even losing your possessions, earthly possessions, just whatever it may be. So it's not that you're not going to experience hard things and that you're going to be down, but it's that over time you're able to bounce back and you're able to get that harmony back and get that stabilization back, so that you can be a wise steward, not staying down. You get knocked down, but you're able to eventually get back up. So that's the difference. What they say, a righteous man, he falls, but he gets back up. So you, an adult, a mature person, a perfect person who's mature, they slip and fall, but they eventually get back up. They don't stay down and wallow and just stay there. They get up, dust themselves off, and say, I got to keep going. So, God understands, and we are given room to fall. We are given room to we're provided with grace to mess up and make mistakes. That's what this life is about. It's about making mistakes, learning and growing and doing better, trying, adjusting, failing, try, fail, adjust. Try it, you fail, you learn where you made mistakes, you adjust, and you keep doing it till you get better at it. That's life. You get better at whatever skill you endeavor to learn. You try, you fail, adjust. Try, fail, adjust. So we're going to talk about 5 ways. Let me name them real quick. 5 ways to live a more peaceful life in 2016 or now. Start it now. Start the pursuit now. Start it yesterday. Number 1, you want to get physically fit. This is peaceful. You want to get more physically fit, which means everybody's not meant to have the body of a fitness professional or a bodybuilder or to look like they were, stepped out of one of those magazine covers. But you want to be physically fit you want to be fit for fight or flight. Real simple. You want to be fit enough to fight if you got to, or run if you got to. You want to be fit enough to be functional. You want to be fit enough to go out and take care of life business and come home and be able to just play and have adventure and enjoy your life as well. You want to be fit enough to get up, go out and slave for the man until you find something else to do. Come home, fix dinner, run the kids around, make sure your husband's happy, make sure your wife is happy, make sure the to-do list is done, make sure the chores is done, errands are ran, and have enough energy to get busy at night and do it all over again the next day. That's it. You want to be fit enough to enjoy this life that you've been given, to eat chocolate. You want to be fit enough to eat chocolate and have it not affect you. You want to be fit enough to eat a whole pint of ice cream or a whole cake or a big piece of pie, or you want to be fit enough, kind of fit to where people say, I don't see how you eat all that and look like you do. Well, that's because I spend 80% of my time doing the right things, and then I spend about 20% of my time doing the wrong thing, or just throwing caution to the wind and having a little fun here. Whereas the general culture has been trained to do 80% of the wrong thing, and then 20% of, oh, I ate a salad last week, something like that. And I'm not, and I don't even mean just eating twigs and berries and salads either. It's because a lot of people assume that when you talk about getting fit and getting in shape, that it's gonna just you gotta eat like twigs and berries and stuff like that, and go to the gym and for like a 2-hour workout and do a lot of cardio. And that's not the case. That's not the fact. So you want to get physically fit, and I guess, well, let me go into it a little bit. You want to get physically fit, and the way you can do it, a simple way you can do it is let's see, do high intensity interval training for about 20 minutes 3 days a week. Yeah. I've done plenty of boot camps with individuals of various ranges, heights, weights, ages, and various levels of physical fitness. And I've used the same template and thing over all of them. And I've led plenty of boot camp classes and stuff like that over the course of my hobby career of being a personal trainer, I guess you could say, a personal coach, a health and wellness propagandist. And that, about 20 minutes, 3 days a week of high intensity interval training, Tabata training, burst training, as some may say, and do some resistance in there too. With some calisthenics, you can lose weight, you can feel great, you can get in shape, and you can be functionally fit. It doesn't take a lot. From what I've personally worked with over the course of my, like I said, personal training hobbyist career, being a health and wellness propagandist, coach, wellness advocate, so to speak. That's like the bare minimum that somebody can do, and maintain some functional fitness about them to have them live a enjoyable life. And you want to look at what you eat and how you eat as well too. And it's not what you think, what we popularly think, and that just make a few changes here, a few changes there, which means eat more vegetables, like it's going out of style. Minimize your fruit intake. I know we're told to eat a lot of fruit, but not really. You don't want to do that. It's nothing but sugar. But you want to minimize your fruit intake. Eat a lot of vegetables, like it's going out of style. Eat some good quality meat, organic meat on occasion, or just a little bit every day if you want to, as long as it's not conventional meat, but it's meat that is, for example, it's meat that has been produced the way nature intended it, meaning the cow is eating grass and not corn all the way through its life cycle. The cow is being killed in a humane fashion, and so that its body is not flooded with a lot of aging hormones, and a lot of hormones that like cortisol and stuff that will affect you. But you want to eat chickens that actually live on the pasture, and they eat bugs, and they're not eating soy supplemented with soy supplementation and grains. But you want to eat chickens that are raised in a field and doing what chickens do. You want to go directly to the farm if you can. I have the benefit of living in central Kentucky, and I'm surrounded by farms. There's farms literally like 5 minutes down the street. I drive to the farm once a week. I drive to the farm, and I spend with that farm what I would have spent at a big chain box retail store. So I take my money and I keep it local as far as my food is concerned, and I go down the street to a real farm with real chickens, real lambs, real cows, real vegetables growing in the ground, and I say, I see that chicken out there, I see how it's being raised and butchered, I want my chicken from here. So you can do, these are things that if you just do a little switch it around, you can do. So every night I'm eating good quality meat, good vegetables, getting good fats in my life, and this is helping me stay functionally fit so I can get up and function as a person. Next, going from physically fit, number one. Number two is you want to get your mind right, and that means broadening your knowledge every day. You want to be broadening your knowledge, whether it be reading books, watching listening to interviews, listening to podcasts, watching presentations, getting in, taking classes, getting in groups, small groups where you can learn something and develop a hobby, a skill. You want to develop and hone your mind so that it's able to think critically, think clearly, it's able to articulate on a dime. It's able to stay sharp over the course of your life. So this means that you want to keep acquiring knowledge. Knowledge is infinite, and you want to stay curious. You want to learn, and then in the processing of your getting knowledge, you want to dive deeper. You want to meditate on it. You want to understand so that you can one day overstand. So you want to understand, you want to go deep as you're wanting to, that you can go so that you can come out and overstand and make and distill nuggets of wisdom in your life that'll help you make better decisions as you go about your day-to-day business. So you can make decisions that are sound and that that are logical and have good reason behind them. So you're just not going off instinct. You're just not running off programs that have been embedded into you, brainwashed into you through the secular system that we live. So you want to incorporate these practices in your life. You want to play chess every day, play checkers every day. You want to these are things you teach your children. You want to have them. My children, they huff and puff when I tell them no. They say, "Can we watch TV?" I'm like, "No, not right now. I want you to read this article out of the scientific journal. read this half a page article and tell me what it's about." Oh man, they throw fits, but they will appreciate it later, hopefully. So it's a simple way that anybody can really that you could do for free. Go to the library and get some books, read, write, get on the internet. Many of us have internet access. I know all of us don't, but in whatever way, form, shape, or capacity, listen to a tape, a podcast, and keep your mind sharp by just practicing and thinking critically, asking questions and answering. One of the ways I do this is by doing this broadcast. This helps keep me sharp, articulate, and it helps me develop this skill on a daily basis. I read, write on a daily basis. I try to anyway, not always. This will help keep you sharp and focused and help keep you help give you the edge that a lot of people don't have. So and it'll give you peace because you'll be able to think for yourself, and you'll be able to be more self-reliant, which is peaceful in that you're not in delving, or you're not existing in confusion. You know, there's a study coming out every day that conflicts each other study that came before it. You know what I'm saying? So you want to be able to decipher and wade through this information so that you can actually know what needs to be done in your life, in your walk, in your journey. So that's number two. number 3 is you want to look at your emotions. You want to avoid deadly emotions like anger, wrath, bitterness, fear, anxiousness, worry, anxiety. You want to jealousy. We're human and we're going to experience these emotions, but you don't want to let these emotions take root and get trapped in your soul, because the only person that can free you is Jesus Christ, and once they get in and take root, it's hard to get them out. It takes a lot of work. So this is something that we all deal with, and because we're humans, and we all have to at one point deal with this and do some work with regard to that. So you don't want to sweat the small stuff. You want to chase after and focus on the positive while experiencing the negative, but you don't want to stay in the negative. You want to always seek to stay and chase after the positive. This is going to, and given that the way life is, you're not, you're going to go up and down, but you want to try to limit or moderate how up you go and how down you go. You want to kind of stay in the middle. So we're all modulated differently, and we all have various settings on our equalizer of personality and temperament, so to speak. But we all want to make sure we get that balance so that we're emotionally stable as you can be in this quantum physics world, this quantum physical reality. And this is part of stewardship. This whole thing is a part of stewardship and being able to manage in time in response to the environment. So that's number 3, emotions. So we got body, mind, emotion. Number 4 is spirit. You want to make, I talked a little bit about this earlier, in that you want to make a spiritual connection to the Father through His Son Jesus Christ, and this is the ultimate step. This is the foundation of living a more peaceful life. I've talked ad nauseum, I guess you could say, in the past with regard to this, and it's always been an underlying this will always be an underlying context in which I do my shows. But you want to make that connection. You want to establish that relationship and do your best to allow that relationship to take hold of you and take root in your life, so that no matter where you may find yourself, you can keep peace and you can keep a heart of gratitude and be thankful and appreciative of life, no matter what, no matter where you may find yourself or situation or circumstance you may find yourself in. And in this spiritual connection, you'll find your purpose. You'll find which will help impassion you and help set the course for your life, so that you can live your life with confidence and with power. Not worried about what people think about you, not worried about who's looking at you, because you know what your purpose is, and you know why, and you have a relationship that others may or may not understand, but at the core, at least you know. It's very important that you know, given that our reality is starting to become one in which the terrorists, they ain't overseas no more, they're here. So you want to make sure that you're more, that you know who you are, and what you stand for, so that you don't even dwell in the same dimension as fear and anxiousness. You dwell in a whole nother plane, a whole nother kingdom. We forget. I think we often forget, or it often falls by the wayside with regard to our living, that we're in Middle Earth. We're like what's that movie with the 5 armies, The Hobbit? We're in Earth. We're dwelling encased by other realms of existence that are at war with each other and warring over you, your heart, your mind, your soul, your body. So you want to what was I talking about? I forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah, you want to make that spiritual connection so that you're able to live a more peaceful life. You're able to engineer Eden in your life, so that your house, when people step, you want your house to be, you want your heart to be so encaptured that peace is flowing from your heart, and I literally mean that, peace flowing from your heart. That not only affects you, but it affects your relationship with your significant other, your children, your family, your loved ones, your community, your neighborhood. When people step on your property, your boundaries, they should be stepping into another dimension. They should be stepping into another realm. They should be stepping into a realm of that's Eden-like, Eden on earth, so to speak. They should be stepping out of the kingdom of darkness and stepping into what's that when embassy. They want to be stepping into an embassy of Eden. But like, no, you're no longer in that kingdom. You actually stepped on and stepped into another realm of existence. That's why when you come here, it's peaceful. That's why when you come in here, you can let go and let loose, and you can be the real you. You can come and relax and feel loved and feel at home here. So this is the goal. Not that this is a goal that I'm constantly having to learn how to let reign in my life. Sometimes pride gets in the way, and I want to take over the reins. Say I can do it my way, and he's like, no, you can't. Yeah, but if you want to, go ahead, and then I'll be here. I may or may not be here when you mess up. So, so this is what you want as far as spiritually, and the fifth thing is you want to learn how to take your purpose and your passion and with power. Make a living from that, so that you can do what you were designed to do, versus doing what you've been brainwashed or forced to do. Many of us, we're in cubicles and we're in the car during rush hour when we don't want to be and when we don't like to be. Now, if you like that, that's fine. That's good. Everybody has a purpose and a place, but if you're one who feels like they're not living out their calling, their purpose, you want to, and not using all their gifts, you want to, when you start using and living off of your gifts, you start living a more peaceful life because you're living what you were made to do. So that brings me to the fifth thing of developing multiple streams of income and learning how to at least work towards or put into play your gifting, so that your gift can make room for you and so you can make a living from your gifts and not be entrapped by the system. And this will help you live a peaceful life when you know that your income, your life is supported independent of the system. Independently wealthy is what you want to be. That's what you want to be, independently wealthy, and learn how to develop multiple streams of income. This is what the elite do. This is what the wealthy in our world do. Is they just don't have one source of income, but they have multiple sources of income. They have multiple streams. They collect and pursue the collection of assets, and they realize that resources are assets, not green paper, not digital zeros and ones in your bank account. Land, that means that actual real land, people, cattle, livestock. That means that other people's time, other people's property. These are things, resources, gold, silver, oil. These are things that water. These are things that they accumulate. Good art, stuff that appreciates over time, and is collectibles, stuff that doesn't appreciate. This is what they spend their time collecting and pursuing. So you want to do the same as much as you can in your life, whether it be you may have to not be able to get those new pair of J's that came out last week. You may have to forgo that new iPhone that just came out and take that money and divert it somewhere else. You may have to put off the name brand for a minute in order to invest in something that's going to actually produce an income for you. You may have to actually start doing, you may actually want to write, and the possibilities are infinite for whatever your gift it may be. If you're a singer, if you're an artist, if whatever you may be, the possibilities are infinite, and the accessibility is there and more prevalent than in previous times with regard to a lot of the tools and gadgets that we have available to us today. So this is possible, and not to say it's not going to happen overnight, but it's more the dream, the realization of our hopes and dreams is more available to us than it ever has been within the recent past. So this is important when it comes to pursuing peace and pursuing being independently wealthy. So I talked about 5 ways to live a more peaceful life with, now, yesterday. You can start now, yesterday, or tomorrow, 2016, whenever you want to do it. But these are 5 ways to live a more peaceful life in a world that is designed to be not peaceful. It's designed to be chaotic, confusing. It's designed to be always shifting, to keep you in a state of fear and anxiousness and worry, to keep you in a state of protection versus growth. It's either fight or flight. Fight or flight. That's what fear does. It puts you in a state of fight or flight, which is protection, versus when you're not protecting, you're growing. And when you feel loved and when you feel cherished and valued, that's when you grow and start living out your full potential as a person. So it's either or. The enemy of your soul designs to keep you in fear and anxiousness, which keeps you in a fight or flight state, which keeps you from growing but keeps you in a protection state, versus the Creator wants you to be to live in peace, because in peace you're able to stop, meditate, experience tranquility, experience serenity, and experience growth, and experience the development into a full, mature, purified bride who's going about her daddy's business, his father's business, and with full capacity. And whatever gifting or calling you've been given or called to do. So this is Kevin over at jkevinjohnson.com, broadcasting this Saturday morning, this morning or evening or afternoon, whenever and wherever you may find yourself listening to this broadcast. So hopefully I said something that speaks life into you and that adds value to your life and helps you just kind of, just briefly help you go, okay, that's encouraging. Thanks for that. And I'll thank you very much, and I'll go about my day doing what I do now. So hopefully you got something out of it. This is Kevin. Come visit me over at jkevinjohnson.com, broadcasting words of hope and encouragement. May his face shine upon you and give you peace.